Sports World follows next. On air, online and on mobile, this is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
This is Sports World on the BBC World Service.
Hello, I'm Delith Lloyd. Can Tottenham Hotspur close the gap on the top four in the Premier League?
Crossing to the minutes, a chance, it's a goal! A brilliant attack for Spurs from 8 yards out.
They face an Everton side that have only won once in their last 5 matches.
I actually think the supporters have changed as well. I think they're certainly more optimistic. But I do think it's part of the manager's job to do that as well. Try and build a little bit of expectations. But on the same breath, you mustn't forget where we've been for quite a few years.
It's honours even in baseball's World Series.
Huge relief. We felt that the way Yamamoto's throwing, runs are certainly going to be hard to come by. And then when Max backed it out with another homer to build an inning after that, a big exhale from the dugout.
We'll have more on Game 2 of the Fall Classic, plus we'll bring you the latest from the Mexico Grand Prix and Women's Cricket World Cup. That's Sports World, all to come in 5 minutes.
BBC News, I'm John Shea. French police have arrested 2 suspects in connection with the theft of millions of dollars worth of jewellery from the Louvre Museum. More than 100 investigators have been analysing forensic evidence from the robbery, in which 4 thieves used an extendable ladder to break into a gallery. From Paris, here's Hugh Schofield.
One arrest, confirmed by the prosecutor, was yesterday evening at Charles de Gaulle Airport, where the suspect was about to board a plane for Algeria. The second arrest took place in the northern Paris suburbs, from where it's reported both men came. They're said to be in their 30s and to be known to police for past acts of burglary. It seems likely that DNA and fingerprint evidence collected at the Louvre led to police identifying the suspects, who may well have been under surveillance for some days. The gang left a number of items at the scene, all of which could have yielded vital forensic clues.
The paramilitary Rapid Support Forces say they've seized the Sudanese army headquarters in the city of El Fasher. There's been no comment from the government. But local fighters allied with the army said the takeover of the base did not mean that the city had fallen. The RSF have been accused of trapping nearly 250,000 people after encircling El Fasher with an earth wall, leaving many on the brink of starvation. This man in the city says the situation is desperate.
We are currently in a shelter for displaced people enduring severe hardship. We have nothing to eat. There is no way to go out in search of food. If urgent help does not reach us soon, the people of El Fasher may not survive much longer.
An American warship has arrived in Trinidad and Tobago for what officials have said will be several days of joint military exercises. The guided missile destroyer will be docked about 40 kilometres from Venezuela, which Washington accuses of trafficking drugs to the US. Oni Wells reports.
The US is escalating military pressure on Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, by sending its largest military deployment to the Caribbean Sea in decades. The US has framed the build-up of warships, fighter jets, marines, spy planes, bombers and drones as a crackdown on drug trafficking and narco-terrorists. But many analysts believe this is also part of a wider intimidation campaign seeking to remove President Maduro from power. Mr. Maduro has accused the US of fabricating war after it also ordered the deployment of the world's largest warship to the Caribbean, which is yet to arrive.
Argentina is holding midterm elections that are being seen as a de facto referendum on the president, Javier Milei. His radical programme of spending cuts and reforms has helped reduce debt and inflation, but many economists predict a recession is now inevitable. Mr. Milei's ally, President Trump, has agreed a $20 billion currency swap with Argentina to help boost its failing currency. Half the seats in the lower house of Congress and half the Senate seats are being contested today. World News from the BBC. The United States and China say they've reached a preliminary consensus on trade after 2 days of high-level talks in Kuala Lumpur. President Trump has been attending the ASEAN summit in the Malaysian capital, where earlier he announced the signing of a deal normalising relations between Thailand and Cambodia. The 2 countries fought a brief border war in July. Jonathan Head reports from Kuala Lumpur.
This deal offers only very limited progress. Just an agreement to start the process of demilitarising the border, nothing more. The other ASEAN members wanted to talk to Mr. Trump about a different war, his tariff war, which has hit these export-dependent economies hard. Some got brief meetings with him, A few vague trade deals were announced, but without any details of how they might work. But the real test of President Trump's deal-making skills comes next week in South Korea, in his planned meeting with the Chinese leader Xi Jinping.
Pakistan and Afghanistan have resumed talks for a second day in Istanbul to work out a lasting ceasefire along their border. Sources said the two sides held closed-door negotiations for about 15 hours on Saturday. Pakistan is urging Kabul not to provide a safe haven for militants, which it denies doing. As the talks took place, the Pakistani military said at least 25 Islamist militants and 5 soldiers were killed in clashes along the border with Afghanistan. It said the security forces foiled 2 attempts by the insurgents to cross over from Afghanistan. There's been no independent confirmation. Police in Western India have arrested a police officer in connection with the death of a doctor who took her own life after alleged sexual assault. The government medic from Maharashtra state left a note alleging that the officer had raped her on multiple occasions. Her family alleges she was under immense pressure as police forced her to falsify autopsy reports. BBC News.